Hi, I'm Amanda Freed, and we are live streaming from the core at La Encantada, and we continue to be overjoyed to bring you the programs that you've gotten accustomed to, that we have loved to teach for you all the way through the pandemic, as long as we've been able to. So we haven't been able to see you in person, and we are slowly opening up. That's the good news, that we are starting to bring people back in studio. But for as long as not everybody feels completely safe going out, we feel totally honored to be able to come to you in this way. Any other time in history, this would not have been possible. So I'm super grateful to be able to come to you. And I've actually really enjoyed presenting for you guys in this way. And so you can catch us here on tmcaz.com, YouTube, Facebook. So there's so many different ways, and all of these presentations are recorded. So you can come back again and again, or you can catch them if you can't catch us live. So the unique thing about this live stream is that you can, and we would absolutely love it if you would communicate with us. Yes, I love hearing the sound of my own voice, but at the same time, I love having a dialogue with you. So you can type questions, comments into the chat box. You can just say hi. If you've shown up, let me know that you're here. Let us know that you're here. So it's as close to in person as possible. We've always had these great dialogues when I've presented on topics here. And that's one of the things I absolutely loved so much, was that we could always get into discussions about whatever was the topic of the day. And every month we've got a different theme. And this month has been kind of, I think we called it pandemic pandemonium, or the COVID conundrum. What's happening now? How are we starting to move back into life, and what does that feel like? And last week we talked about kind of how to recognize what you were feeling, what was going on in your body maybe, and having that recognition, because I'm a body worker as well as a meditation teacher. And so we're going to continue with this theme throughout this month, just different kind of topics. And today we're going to talk about your comfort zone. And so we'll do a little meditation in a little while as well. And I'd love to have you join me in a guided meditation. Kate is here and will read any questions or comments. So you can feel free to put your questions or comments in at any time. And then I'll give some time for responses at the end. So there's this thing happening. I've come across so many friends and clients lately, and I'm kind of, how are you doing? And across the board, people are more tired and are still feeling quite overwhelmed, which is super interesting to me. But also I feel the same way. So if you're feeling that, maybe raise your hand or send a little emoji or send a comment. Have you been feeling, since things began to open a little bit, have you been feeling overwhelmed? Have you been feeling like you need more sleep? Have you been feeling like you're not sure what it is you want to reincorporate back into your life? Maybe you've gone back to work. Maybe you're not comfortable going back to work. Maybe you've been invited to quite a few social situations and you're not really comfortable with them. So I want to talk to you a little bit about kind of how to reassimilate, if you want to reassimilate, and how to know what's right for you and what's not right for you. There's this quote that I've seen so often that says, you should do something that scares you every day. And, I believe in that to a degree. And I remember saying to somebody who is extremely near and dear to me, you should do something that scares you a little bit every day. And she turned to me and she said, do you know that life scares me every day? And I was so astounded and taken aback and humbled by that comment. Just because I'm comfortable doing something doesn't mean somebody else is. And so one of the gifts of this time in history for me, the thing that I've been experiencing more than anything else, is that people have had a tremendous amount of grace around this. That people will invite me to something and at the same time say, but if you're not comfortable, I totally understand. Or they might preface the question with saying, would you be comfortable with this? Or I'd really like to do this with you. How can I make this comfortable for you? So same, if you've experiencing that, let us know. Conversely, I've spoken to some people who have felt pressured that friends or relatives expect them to show up somewhere and they're not quite ready to do that. Same with vaccinated versus non-vaccinated. So I have found that there's a lot of grace in the situation for other people's comfort zones. Some people have found that to be the opposite case. So for a moment, just like think about what it is you've been experiencing as life begins to open back up for some people. Which experience have you had? Have you found a lot of grace amongst friends, work, colleagues? Or have you found some judgment around it? Have you felt that people expected more of you than you were ready to do or wanted to do? Neither is right. I just want you to begin to recognize what experience you've been having. See, mindfulness is about just recognizing what is without judgment. So we just want to, as much as we can, embody mindfulness and to recognize what experience we're having in the moment as we start to open up again. For myself, this situation over the past year gave me a lot of time to be at home. I am a city mouse, as I say, so I'm often out of my home. I'm like running around. I like doing things. I like hiking and walking, so I'm rarely ever home. But I've been home a lot in this past year, and it has totally changed my experience of being home. My plants are very happy. They're thriving. They like me to be home. And I've really come to embrace the experience of being at home so that I realized, people are going out, music venues are opening, and people are thrilled about it. I'm less likely to want to go, partially because I'm not ready to be in crowds, but also because I don't feel this urgency to leave my home anymore. I also don't have friends that call me up and pressure me about going. So I just want to support you in finding your own comfort zone and being able to express that in a loving manner, in a way that might not hurt people's feelings or alienate people. And it might be as simple as saying, I'm going to stay in tonight. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm going to stay in tonight. Or if you want to say, I'm not really comfortable with that, but I hope you have a fantastic time. Now, that may not be received well, but that's okay. You're telling your truth in a kind manner. So that would be, if you were to take a note here, you might say, I'm going to tell my truth in a kind and loving manner. So you know that if you've come across in what you feel is a kind and loving manner, if somebody else is upset about it, that doesn't really lie with you. And they may be upset because they don't want to go alone, or because they feel judged or something like that, or their emotion is not necessarily our responsibility unless we've been unkind. So I want to start to move now into, how do you even know? Because how many times have you done something? You may have had a small inkling that it was not within your comfort zone, but you did it anyway, and you were there and you thought, man, I shouldn't have done this. I should have listened to my intuition. Or, man, I knew I was going to be uncomfortable. I don't know why I did this. And you're there and you're already in a spot where you don't feel like you can get out of the situation. So one of the things to do is, and I do this, I've said this, if you guys know me and you've had any classes with me, lectures, workshops, you know that I don't answer my phone. So if you call me, I'm probably not going to answer my phone because I am a yes person. I am going to say yes. If you ask me to do something, whether it's a favor for you, an errand for you, to go somewhere with you, I am automatically going to say yes. It's just what falls out of my mouth without thinking. Some people are no people. It's all okay. But, and you can tell me, in the chat, are you a yes person or a no person? I've gotten myself in trouble that way. First thing is, I don't check my schedule all the time. I'll say yes and then look at my schedule and go, oh no, I have something to do on that day. Second, it might not really be something that I want to do, but I haven't checked in with myself to see if it's something that I want to do. Third, I don't even know the details sometimes. So I don't even know if it's something I want to do. I've said yes so quickly that I don't even know if it's something I would want to do. So, there are these, those of us out there that are what we call people pleasers. So if you're just the person that says yes all the time, you might be a people pleaser. It's not a bad thing. It's usually a familial holdover, something that we took from our family life. So what I would support you in is maybe don't answer that phone if you know that you're a yes person. Allow the person to leave a message, because anybody that calls you on the phone wants something. They either want your attention, some time to talk, which is great, but how many times have you picked up that phone and you don't really have the time to talk? You just felt like you should pick up the phone. So I don't really have the time to talk, but now I'm on the phone. And now I don't know how to get off the phone. So they either want your attention, some time with you. They might want a favor. They might want to make plans for another day. They might want to have an argument or complain about something. You may not be in the mood for that. So allow them to leave a message. And I always say if somebody didn't leave a message, they didn't really call anyway. Allow them to leave a message so that you know what they wanted and needed at the time. And you can then turn in and decide if that is in your comfort zone. If they just wanted to chat and you've got the time to chat, you can call right back. If they need a favor, they don't tell you what it is often. You might take your time, decide, arm yourself with this practice that I'm going to give you in a few minutes here of this comfort zone awareness meditation. And then you'll have a little bit more space to create a boundary so that you can stay within your comfort zone. So, and if you get caught, if you do get on the phone or in person and somebody asks you something, it's perfectly kind to say, I don't really know if I can do that. Let me get back to you. If it's something they need urgently and they can't wait for your response, they might need to get that, whatever they need in that moment, from somebody else. Now, we like to plant in our minds that nobody else can do what I can do. Trust me, they'll find somebody else if they have a need, or they'll fill it themselves. So first line of defense, maybe don't answer that phone. Second line of defense, I don't know. It sounds great. Let me think about it and let me check my schedule and I will get back to you on that. And do get back to them as soon as you know. Get back to them as soon as possible. So you don't build up this thing where, I'm going to say no and I don't know how to say no. So, I'm going to just push it off and push it off and push it off. That's actually unkind. And it also keeps it as a nagging little thing in your mind so that you can't be mindful. So one of the things that keeps us from being mindful in the present moment is these things that we have built up, our to-do list in our heads. So you don't want to build that up for too long in your to-do list, right? You want to say, I don't know, that sounds great. Let me think about it. Let me look at my schedule. I'll get back to you. And then as soon as you can, get it off of your Rolodex, as I say. I don't know if you guys even remember what Rolodex is. So those are a couple of tools that you can use just to give yourself a little breathing space. We've all been pushed so far out of our comfort zones within the past year. And now that we're being asked to move back into life, what I'm finding is that because of the stress and trauma, and next week we're going to talk about crisis fatigue. So make sure same time you dial in next week, we're going to talk about crisis fatigue. But what's happened is that because we've been in crisis, your nervous system is probably already in a fight or flight pattern and has been for a while. So you might be experiencing this thing of, I used to do that and it was fine. I could talk to this person on the phone and it didn't bother me. Or I could go to dinner with friends and I wasn't nervous about it. And now I'm a wreck just to be outside. Well, your nervous system has been overtaxed in its fight or flight for probably a year now. Even if you have felt calmed down, which I have, I felt great. I'm home, I'm thrilled. I'm teaching yoga classes over Zoom. I'm over here with you like this. Like, this is fantastic. Make no mistake. We have all been experiencing a crisis. We are all in trauma mode to some degree. So when life is opening up and you're thinking, why is this such a big deal for me? Why is this feeling stressful for me? It's because you are already in a stress response condition. So you please, please, please honor yourself from that. So don't be afraid to go, Amanda said, I'm already in a stress position. My nervous system is already kind of at its height. I need to give myself some space to decide if I can add to that. And at what cost do I add to that? You know, we can't keep our nervous systems operating at this high level for long periods of time without then having some repercussions emotionally and absolutely physically. We cannot separate spirit from emotion, from physicality. So if you want to support your own immune system and your continued health, it's a very wise choice to begin to check in with how you're feeling about what's going on in your life, whether you're going to reassimilate back into things, whether you need a little more time, and what that looks like for you. So how do I know? How do you know? How do you even know, especially when you've been a yes person? And sometimes it takes months. Any of you experience this? Let me know in the chat, or I think there's some emotables in there. Months it takes you to go, hey, wait a minute, that wasn't cool that this person said this thing, or hey, wait a minute, I didn't like doing that. My famous story about the woman who was going to watch her friend's dog that weekend. You guys have probably heard this 100 times. So we were in a class and I was talking about this, and a woman said, well, you know, I've got to watch my friend's dog this weekend. And she was clearly not happy about it. And I was like, well, you don't sound like you're happy about that. Why? She said, well, last time I watched this dog, he pooped all over the house. He ate the curtains. It was bit my husband. It was miserable. And I said, wow, so you're just going to go ahead and watch this dog again this weekend? She said, well, yeah, but she's got nobody else to do it. It was clearly out of this person's comfort zone and detrimental to her house, her drapes, her marriage, her husband's hand, to do this, but she was going to override everything she felt to serve somebody else who, by the way, very easily, she came in the next week and I said, so how'd that go? She said, well, I said no, that I wasn't going to watch the dog, so her mother-in-law watched the dog. People will find their resources. Your job is to take care of yourself, to honor your body, to honor your heart, to honor your spirit, and to know what is in your comfort zone and what is not. So let's try a little experiment about that. I have a terrible fear of heights, even though I hike a lot, and danger. I'm not interested in danger. I don't even want to go on a roller coaster. And when I think about something like that, I can feel my body, even so the fact that I just said the word roller coaster, my body just tensed up. So if I say something to you like bungee jumping, like what happens, like even just thinking about it, my shoulders raise up, my hands tighten, I'll breathe tightly through my teeth, like everything in my body, my eyes close down because I don't even want to think about it. Everything in my body has tensed up. Now, is there any question whether or not bungee jumping is within my comfort zone? No. My body just told me that that is 100% outside of my comfort zone. Okay. There's a million other things that my body's going to react that way about. So how about you? How did your body react if I said to you, let's go bungee jumping tomorrow? Hopefully you would go, ah. If you're not comfortable with it. Some people, the shoulders would come down and they would go, yes, that sounds fantastic. So you start to read your own body language. So now what if you, because this is happening every single day on a much smaller scale. So you've got to start to read the subtleties in your body. So what if I said something like dinner with the in-laws? So close your eyes for a moment. And if I said dinner with your in-laws, notice if your body does anything special when I say that. Or dinner with your spouse's children. Notice your breathing. Dinner with your children. A day at the beach. A walk in the rain. So if you find something pleasing that is within your comfort zone, and not only within your comfort zone, but comforting, a warm bath, a cup of tea, comforting, pleasing, might soften your most favorite cup of coffee. You might feel that the body, and we'll do more meditation around this, but I just wanted you to check in really quickly with extremes, right? So go ahead and open your eyes now if you had them closed. So these are extremes. So if we think about something extreme like bungee jumping, or I can't even think of anything because I'm a big scaredy cat. There's like a million things in the world that I'm afraid of, surfing, something like that. Stand-up paddleboard, believe it or not, terrifies me. Some people would find that great. A roller coaster. So are there any things that would just make you, what makes you cringe? Some people, snakes or spiders. Oh, I got you. There you go. Snakes or spiders. They make you cringe, clearly out of your comfort zone. So you're not probably going to get these big markers when it's going out to dinner with friends. But what you might find is that your eyebrows knit a little bit. So that's a good place for you to check in when you're not sure how you're feeling about something. Your jaw might tighten slightly. This is another really good place to check in whether or not you're in your comfort zone. Your breathing might change. Your toes could even curl, or maybe you'll twitch a little bit, like your foot will wiggle a little bit if you don't know how to sort of answer questions. So what we're going to do in the meditation now is I'm going to give you a few scenarios, and I want you to sort of try them on and see how your body responds. The more that you come back and back to these parts of your body that are letting you know how you feel, the more of a relationship you create with your body, with your awareness, so that you can check in, and this will be a reliable tool for you. Your body tells the story. I think there's even a book called Your Body Tells the Story. And so you rely on it. Get to that comfortable place with your body. Sometimes you'll feel a weird feeling in your chest or something. So the first thing you're going to do is sort of create a time and a space. So you don't answer your phone. You create a space that you can check in with yourself. Am I available? Am I even available to be on the phone right now? Or do I need to do these 7 other things before I get on the phone? The second thing is, if you do get confronted in a time that is untimely for you, you ask for some time. Hey, gosh, I'd love to do that. I just need some time to think about it and check my schedule. Checking your schedule is great, or you can blame somebody. To check with my husband, I have to check with my kids, I have to check with my mom. They won't mind. And then the third thing is, we're going to start to really step into the body and check in. So let's get to it. So find your comfortable space. wherever that is, whatever that means to you. And again, if you're driving and listening, don't close your eyes. Even the idea of finding a comfortable place to sit. You don't have to sit on the floor. You don't have to create some artificial environment for yourself. Just find yourself a comfortable seat. And when you do, allow the eyes to close down gently. Now, that is thing one, checking in with your comfort zone. Some people don't feel comfortable with their eyes closed completely. So you can let the eyes be open a slit to let some light come in. So right there, give yourself permission to be in your own comfort zone. And then we can check in with the breath. Because if there's any residual tension residing in the breath or in the body, it's going to be very hard to tell. Am I reacting to the stimulus that's being placed in front of me, or am I carrying something over from before? So now, as you check in with your breath, just recognize the inhale and the exhale. So breathe and simply know that you're breathing. For today, we'll do a little inquiry with the breath. Just noticing if your breath is smooth and even. Does it feel like you can get a fairly deep breath, or is it short and choppy? No judgment either way. You're not breathing right or wrong. We just want to check with our condition right now. And if the breath is short or choppy or labored in any way, you might already be having a stress response. And just by paying attention to the breath for a few moments, there's a very good likelihood that the breath will begin to settle. So not only can we check how we're feeling through the breath, at the same time, we can begin to address whatever stress we've been holding. So just take a few moments now to check in with the breath and allow it to re-regulate. You might hear sounds in your room. You might hear sounds in the background. Just keep returning your awareness and your attention to the breath. If you do have distractions, try to notice if you're reacting or just noticing your distractions. Notice any changes in the breath. Has the breath gotten deeper or slower, more focused? Has the breath gotten quicker? You might be experiencing some stress that's been sitting in the body that you haven't recognized before. Either way, know that you're in a safe space. We'll move into a gentle body scan. Again, if there's any tension already in the body, it's going to be hard to tell what you're reacting to. Start with the low jaw. Just allow the low jaw to release and to fall away from the upper jaw. So the lips and teeth will part gently. You might also move the jaw around slightly if you know you're a clencher or you keep tension in your jaw. Just let it go. Let the low jaw slide back gently so the neck can elongate. And notice you might, right after you get that neck elongated, you might get a fuller breath in. The moment I do that, it's an invitation to enjoy this clearer channel to the breath. We can move our awareness to the skin of the forehead and the muscles around the eyes. Just notice if there's any tension there that you can release. Let the eyebrows slide down and even out toward the temples. Pay attention to the sides of the scalp, just above and around the ears. Seeing if there's any tension to release there. Do notice the sides of your neck and that place where the skull connects to your neck, just at the base of your skull. Just want to slide your head gently from side to side, just checking in. That's an area that so many of us hold tension. So just release any tension about the base of the skull. Oh, that might elicit another deep inhale. Let the shoulders be soft, so you don't have to depress the shoulders down toward the hips so as not to have them up by the ears. Just let them hang naturally. In a neutral position, the shoulders will be in line with your 7th cervical vertebrae, that bump at the base of your neck. Let your arms just hang heavy by your sides. You might be on the chair or even in your lap. Just let them hang heavy, dangle by your sides for a moment. And cross your legs if they're crossed. Now breathe fully into your belly. This is a great place for us to hold tension. So inhale. And let your belly be full and round, like a Buddha belly. So we can release any idea that a flat stomach is the goal. So much tension is held there. Feel your hips weighty into the seat beneath you, allowing your legs, your feet, and your hands to just release. The feet and the hands can hold some tension too. You might wiggle fingers and toes a bit. You can place your hands back gently on your lap, palms up. Now bring to your awareness a situation that might have caused you some discomfort, taken you out of your comfort zone, either in the current situation or in the near future even. Maybe you've got someplace to go and you're not really comfortable about it. Something to do, or something that happened, a conversation with a friend, and then check in with your body. So we want to bring this to mind as much as possible. Remembering that awkward conversation or an argument you had with a loved one, notice the areas of your body that might seem to be tensing up. Don't worry, we'll take out this tension in a moment. Does your breathing change? Does your breathing quicken a bit? Does your jaw begin to tense back up? Are your shoulders moving a bit? Did you have some trauma, fear, discomfort? Notice what's happening in your body. Now there's nothing to be changed. or solved or done about this right now. We're just coming from a place of non-judgment, just recognizing maybe one shoulder is either twitching or lifting. You might even be jiggling a little bit. So whatever this situation that you've called to mind that is out of your comfort zone, that is making you uncomfortable, is manifesting somewhere in your body. Recognize that place in your body. Now send the awareness and the attention there. Release the notion, the thought, the idea of the event, and address the physical manifestation that you experienced. If it's a shoulder, place your attention there and see if you can release it. If it's a jaw, your brow, your feet, or hands, wherever the tension landed in your body, just send your awareness there. If you feel comfortable, you can breathe into it, but sometimes even that instruction is stress-producing. Send your awareness to the physical manifestation of you being out of your comfort zone. And see if you can release whatever happened in your body. The mind wanders, which it will when we're uncomfortable. Connect back in with your breath and just focus on the breath for a few rounds. Know that difficulty or discomfort in the body is not necessarily a lack of safety. So know that you're safe. You're just feeling discomfort. Okay, now bring your awareness gently, please, to something that is very comforting and very soothing for you. It might be something from your childhood or your past. Maybe a mother or grandmother baked cookies, and you can smell them and you can taste them. And there's probably an emotion tied to them, maybe love, comfort, nurturing. Might be a vacation you had. It might be the embrace of a child or an animal or a loved one. Something that you find very comforting and very soothing. And then notice the state of your body. The shoulders are probably more relaxed. The head might tilt to one side, the side that the memory is placed in. Or the head might even fall slightly into your lap or down to your chest. The brows will soften, the jaw will release. There might even be a gentle smile that plays on your face. There might be music or delightful sounds, voices. So just notice how you feel in your body when you are within your comfort zone. There is a stark contrast. You deserve to be in this space all the time. You deserve to be joyful, comfortable, soothed. Notice the quality of your breath. It might be less deep than it was before, and that's fine. That's actually a more relaxed breath. An effortless, barely tangible breath. Enjoy this state for the next few moments. Now gently begin to bring the awareness back to the body. You can deepen the breath. The inhale is the ruler of arousal. So we're sort of bringing ourselves back to the moment by maybe wiggling fingers or toes, checking in with your neck. And over the course of the next few breaths, we'll begin to blink the eyes open, bring the awareness more and more present. Until you're fully awake and aware in the room. So we've got a few minutes here. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like to discuss, I would love some feedback about how this went for you. Were you able to feel the contrast between your muscles, your body condition when you were thinking about something that was outside of your comfort zone, your muscles, your body condition when you were thinking of things that were comforting or comfortable for you? So again, please type into the chat box any questions, any comments you might have. I would love to know how this went for you. It was difficult to find a contrast. If you don't know, I think most of us are pretty much aware where the areas of our body where we commonly hold our own stress, right? If you're a chronic neck pain sufferer, shoulders, knees, we can break these things down to what might be going on in the body too. You know, low back has its vulnerabilities, the neck has its vulnerabilities, headache sufferers, like where do we take up these conditions? And they do set in the body. So wait just a couple more moments here, see if anybody has any questions or comments. You can always send them in and we can respond back later as well. Sort of feeling even what it feels like to be in your body right now. Like hopefully, you know, it's amazing. We can carry these situations on into chronic conditions or even illnesses, or we can do these practices again and again where we become these clear channels to really let emotion, let situations kind of wash through and move through us gently. Okay, so it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure to be with you and to practice with you today. And I think I'm checking in to see. Okay, so again, if you do come up with anything you'd love to discuss, just send it on Facebook, wherever you want to communicate with us, and let me know. I hope that this has been helpful for you. It's a joy to be with you. I'm Amanda Freed, and we will see you next week.